Hey everybody, we're continuing the summer of Too Hot for Games, brought to you by Nintendo of America, with 2002's hot new title. Straight to you from the GameCube via the 64DD, Doshin the Giant. My continued desire to play weird stuff during the holidays, by holidays I mean when Nintendo of America is probably taking games off, for RFN has led me to import the Japanese version of Doshin the Giant. I could have bought the European version, which is in English, but it's not 60 Hz for whatever reason. So I went ahead and bought the Japanese one so it wouldn't make the video encoder vomit all over itself. And let's get started. I actually have a save that I was going to use for this. But I forgot to record the day after the save, and the recording that I did already I didn't like. Basically because I spent most of the time as Doshin blowing up mountains and not really showing you any gameplay. So, I deleted everything. So, how Doshin the Giant works, we'll go ahead and get started while I'm talking about this, is you control this big yellow banana dude, and you populous style build up this island, and people living on it will continue to progress their little civilizations. The game's broken up into days, and if you don't check on your village after a certain amount of time, I think it's 24 hours, bad stuff happens while you're gone. And it's been about 3 days since I last touched the save. I could have changed the time on my GameCube, or my Wii, as it were, but I decided it's better to restart. So you can see this awesome video. The basic gist of what this guy's saying is he's talking about a legend of history where this thing shows up. He gets weird and talks about if he's alive or dead, i.e. the guy speaking. There he is. He looks like an anatomy drawing right now. I'll leave it to your imagination. It's saving data. Slot A. Actually, this game came with its own memory card. Alright, he's gonna tell me to play the game. He certainly is. I don't quite understand who the small child voice is. Basically make them love you or make them fear you. You'll see that pretty quick right here. So they're waking up in the village here. They're not making any demands at present. If I walk too close, I'll scare them. So I need to give him a tree. So watch the ground as I pick up and drop trees. I didn't mean to drop the tree there. The controls in this game are kind of terrible. Oh. Game. I think my wavebird's having some issues too. I think that's part of the problem. Alright, there we go. Tree delivery service. See, I gained 2 hearts. Now they're mad because I put the tree in the wrong place. Oh, I was in the wrong place. I was in the way of their building plans. There you go. See, they're building now. I might try changing the channel on this Wavebird controller, so if you see me get up and not do anything for a couple seconds, that's probably what's happening. Yeah, we're gonna do that. It had fresh batteries, but the control was acting up, and I was wondering if maybe there was some kind of interference from something else. But you'll see on the map in the top right, there's more than one village, and we're about to actually hit the next one. There they are. They also need trees. Now watch the ground when I pick this tree up. You'll see we got a little deserty towards the edge. He drops the tree when he stops moving, essentially, and sometimes you stop moving by accident. You can see on the dark green where they're going to build their village. But you see when I put this tree down, the ground expands, the green area expands, and they start building. Again, I didn't mean to drop the tree there. I meant to get a little closer, but the game freaked out, and the control was acting weird. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? One thing about this map that's confusing is that the triangle that represents Doshin, the front part of it's not long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and raise the ground and make a nice flat walk. I wonder how much of this is him getting caught on the level architecture, because it is randomly generated, and then you can influence it even further, and sometimes, like, Doshin will trip and fall and slide down a hill. So a lot of times I'll try to level stuff out as I'm walking. And in fact, that's all this village wants me to do is level. Oh, jeez. Why are you guys building here? This place sucks. They want to go up. Sorry. You can see the like on his head. She wants to go up. He also wants to go up. God, they really wanted to go. What are they doing? If I step on them, they'll fear me. I have to get to that island in the bottom right soon. I'm used to being in the top left, so I'm not entirely sure why it's over there. Like I said, it is random. But I thought the village positions weren't random, but apparently they are. Don't want to step on her. So as you gain hearts, you get bigger. So once I complete the area around the center of the screen, Doshin will grow. And the growth isn't tremendous, but it adds up. Are they done? Oh, now they want trees. Lazy bastards. Alright, so one thing about trees, and I'll point it out today, even though it doesn't really matter on day one, is that trees have a finite lifespan. And their influence wanes over time. So, you have to continually... Assholes. You have to continually replenish... Doshin, turn the hell around! You have to continually replenish your trees. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that right now. These. So you get 7 trees in kind of a circle. And it spawns more trees. At the expense of the trees that you had already built. But that's okay. We're... Game. Yeah, I'm wondering if either the Wavebird's freaking out or the game's just not well programmed. We'll deal with the 7-tree thing later. I'm gonna go ahead and actually head back to the first village. As you can see, the arrow's not on top of the city indicator up top, so I'm never sure if I'm walking in the right direction. There we go. Face first. So I need to take this mountain down. Or I don't, because I was going the wrong way altogether. So there's the first village I went to. You see they built one building. They've been very industrious while I was gone. Not entirely sure why. That voice keeps coming, but yeah, whatever. So day 2, you have to start. Day 2, you have to start worrying about trees expiring. Yeah, I do wonder if my wave bird's just dying. So the problem with when the trees expire is that the village, you know, buildings that are built under the influence of that tree cease to function. Essentially, they move out. All right. There you go. Watch, it get a little bigger. Very slightly bigger. Like I said, it's not super obvious. Oh. Alright. I took a screenshot. I'm trying not to take screenshots. I'm trying to do something else, but it's not working out. There we go. You can turn into Doshin, who can fly, sort of. So in fact, we're gonna fly over to that other island. Now, the people are afraid of Doshin. And rightly so. I mean, look at him. So now I'm back to Doshin. But it's a lot faster than walking. So again, we have another village that's decided to build in a completely inhospitable place. So to stand around while these jackasses have me rebuild their village. So on a good first day, I can get pretty far along into the villages, and I've had situations where within the first couple of days, this specific village is trying to build like on a sheer cliff face, which they don't really have much of. Like I said, the world is randomly generated. I've had instances where they're trying to build basically up on the side of a mountain, and then the building just sort of slides down the mountain when they finish building it, which is, I'm gonna call that an AI failure, not so much a me failure, because she's freaking out because she got too close. Waiting. This is the part of the game where you start deciding, like, all right, in the case of this village, when you start off, they need a lot of ground leveling, but it takes them forever to just walk to the next spot they need leveled. So you waste a lot of time on day 1 here. Now, once this is done, this is pretty much done. There's not a huge mountain in the village this time. Sometimes there's a big mountain right there, and that can really slow you down. Also, the fact that Doshin doesn't just turn around when he walks. He'll walk backwards for a while. Sometimes makes this somewhat tedious if you're trying to just cover a short distance between two points. Because he'll be facing the wrong direction when he's trying to use his magic power. Oh, she's building. Is he gonna start building too? Okay, they're building, so I can Doshin my way back over to the other side. So Doshin can glide, and that's a huge help crossing the water, because Doshin crosses the water pretty slow. Doshin has another power, which I'm not going to use just yet. You can see that Doshin can't jump as high, so when he jumped, he just fell. These guys want trees. And that person on that ball is not helping. Well,
山ができる。引っ張り続ければ海だって山になるんじゃ。
so the camera's not always the most cooperative thing in the world. But this village is actually getting along pretty well already. You can see they've already got some buildings built. One trick I've learned in a couple playthroughs now is pluck the younger trees when you're trying to help build out the village, like these ones. You can see they're smaller. They you get more days with them essentially. Like they're not gonna go away real soon, versus these older trees, which are pretty close to their 3-day lifespan. I think it's 3 days. You can see Doshin can't jump very far, but Doshin can haul ass. He's not moving very far right now. There we go. These guys again, you can see there's a lot more villagers now, where they've built in this awful place. I don't know why they built here, but they did. Alright, so these guys want a tree. I think there's a sapling over here. These villages are color-coded. For whatever reason, the blue village is just a bunch of idiots. I'm not used to having to do this much. You see that building is sliding down the hill. I'm not used to having to do this much ground rearrangement in the blue village. What are they trying to accomplish? Like, they want me to go really high up. So you want me to go down, and you want me to go up. What are y'all doing? This is just... So what's happening here is... See, they're trying to make me go up. What he really was trying to do is level out the ground. It's not where his arrow is pointing, but really beyond where his arrow is pointing. Alright. Are you idiots done making me move dirt around now? This is actually one of the less desirable level configurations I've gotten at the start. Kind of tempted to just restart the whole video and just do one that's not so crappy. Really what that guy, like I said, really what that guy wants is he wants me to level out the ground. So not where his arrow is pointing, but beyond it. Or maybe they've just decided they want to live on a mountain. Are y'all done? Oh my god. What is happening? I've never had it do this much. Can you move the... I got a box. What's in the box? Oh no! Oh no! 3 skulls in the box! Are you guys... Oh, I stepped on somebody. Yeah, you guys suck anyway. Doshin! You can see the red village just started building livestock. Also, I just killed somebody somehow. I'm not entirely sure why. You guys need anything? You guys good? They're goofing off right now. If you'd be so kind to get to building. Let's check out the green village. I think this is the green village over here. As you can see, they've started to have livestock rolling around. Occasionally you'll see these birds that are flying through the trees. They'll like pick up a fish and come drop it on you, which I'm always amused by. Right, so let's not step on their village. They're demanding trees. They're demanding a lot of trees. So green village is sort of the culturally maximist developed area over here, and it's somewhat dependent on just what the level ends up being. You cannot kill people with trees that I can perceive. They didn't like where I put the tree. They like that better. So let's start on a flower. So, to get... I was talking about when you have to get, like, 7 trees in one spot. And you get more trees. The other thing you get is you get a flower. And flowers are used to build... temples. They'll build a temple to Doshin. And I'm actually going to try to use more of these old trees for the temple. For the flower. 3... because they're gonna die anyway. In tomorrow's game, you'd see 4. You'd see trees that are starting to turn brown. Where are the trees at? Yeah, I'll use this one. Trying to save some time too. 5. But you can see, the ground's turning very green around me. Also, this game's sound effects get really old. 6. This is tree number 6. Where's the... Don't want to step on anybody. Get out of my way. I'm a giant. I've got a tree. I got 6. So it's important that I do it here and not over there where there was already like 5 trees, because I'd have to cross this desert area, and the flowers can't cross the desert for some reason. There we go. You'll see that all those trees died, but now there's a lot more trees popping up. And there's a flower developing right there. So when this town gets ready to build its shrine, which is going to do everybody by the flags, I'll be able to take the flower to them, and they'll build me a better shrine. And in fact, it looks like they're getting ready to do it right now from the icon change on their map. We'll see. They'll tell me when they need one. Let's go check on the other guys. Let's go check on these guys who have decided they just want an artificial mountain to live on. And sure enough, they need more adjustments to their big mountain. I mean, look how big this plateau they've asked me to build for them has gotten. It's kind of ridiculous. And in fact, Doshin's having trouble just walking up it. I'm going to try to level it out, because I assume that's what they're asking me to do. Oh, he wants to go down. My mistake. He's just going to come back, so I'll go ahead and do it right now. There we go. He's leveled out. These guys want to go up. But again, see, they're trying to build on the cliff face. Which really isn't helpful for me. What do they want? They want up. Oh, somebody's building a monument. I know it's not these idiots. They're too busy trying to build a friggin' artificial mountain. Alright, oh, come on, come on. There we go. Oh, here comes getting bigger. I'm now bigger. I've never had the game just decide we want an artificial mountain. Oh, I stepped on somebody. You can tell when you killed somebody because there's a flower. They'll turn into trees tomorrow. I don't know. This game's weird. Alright, so we've got... See, now they want me to take the mountain down. This is frustrating. It's not usually like this. I mean, I've almost completely deconstructed the mountain. Stop walking around behind me. I'm a friggin' giant, man. Are you guys done? You can actually do some damn work? I'm gonna go check on these guys. They don't disappoint me constantly like you all do. Alright, you can see they're looking for the flower right now, so I'm gonna slide the flower over there. For whatever reason, I don't think you can pick up the flower. Maybe you can, and I'm just an idiot, but I've not had any luck doing it. But I have noticed that if you try to drag the flower across non-grass. It just vanishes. Like that. Son of a... Damn it! Or maybe it did its job because the flower request went away. Maybe that was... Maybe it worked. I don't know. At some point, I need to go back and check on these guys on the other islands, so I guess I should go ahead and get out of the way. So you can see more livestock's developed. So we're going to Doshin it. You also notice that when Doshin lands, he makes a big old divot. If my wavebird would stop acting up, it'd be cool. You guys have built one building. You've built one building. One building. What the hell is wrong with you? I've never had to deal with two cities that just want me to move dirt around. I'm not a fan of it. Again, because the ground is randomly generated, sometimes the game ends up with some weird terrain. And in this case, it seems like both the blue and the green village ended up with just really crappy terrain. Actually, I think this is the yellow village. Yeah, it is. Alright, they're building. Okay, I can actually go back to the mainland if the controls would behave themselves. Alright, so I gotta zoom out because I'm huge now. And this village is... You can see they're building their monument to me right there. Oh, up the hill, up the hill, up the hill. You see, they've really started to build some much larger and much grander structures like this thing. And that'll continue for a while. These guys, however, just keep asking me to move dirt around, which I'm really not a fan of. Alright, jerks. They finished the monument. Oh hey, somebody actually wants to build something. That's cool. These guys want a tree, so I'm gonna give them... I'm gonna use this smaller tree because I've got more days of it left. Alright. Maybe we'll finally get the green village going now. Nope, they still want more dirt movement. You guys... Oh, they want... Wait, you want up? Alright, whatever. There. So they're trying to level out the ground, but they're trying to level out the ground at like 60,000 feet for some reason, so... Alright, so the red village in the north, I haven't checked on them in a long time. Whoa! He landed with such force it killed them. I may have stunted the growth of the red village tremendously by that play. I didn't realize that he hits from a distance like that when he lands. But you can hear the music kind of change as I get over the red village. One thing I do like about the game though is that they've got these 4 very different cultures on the island. And that each of them has, you know, different architectural stuff. The music's a little bit different around them. Some of them want you to build them giant friggin' plateaus to live on. What on earth? At least they built something. I feel like I should just go through this village and just wipe everybody out at this point. I should just Doshin this place. Alright, somebody actually wants a friggin' tree. Alright, so... Again, like I was talking about how he's walking the wrong direction. That's really not useful here because I'm trying to see where I'm going. Now they're mad because the tree's where they wanted to build. There. Is everybody building now? Everybody happy? Oops, I just stepped on somebody. No, maybe I didn't. Maybe I just spooked them. Let's go check on the village over here that's actually doing something, unlike the rest of you jerks, as the day slowly winds down. They aren't really doing anything right now. They're doing some construction around the monument, but they don't really need my help for it. You can kind of see them working around the troughs over there. They'll build some other stuff later if I let them. You can see the sun's starting to set. I'm gonna build a land bridge. This is how I usually handle crossing the water, but for whatever reason I wanted to Doshin over there today. I thought it would save time, but since literally everything else has conspired to make this particular development take as long as possible on this particular level configuration, it has really made a difference. You can see they're all asleep already. Because of all that hard work they did building nothing today. They built one building. They built one building. One. Why? What is wrong with you people? So they're all asleep. In fact, I'm gonna pick one of them up. Oh, he didn't want me to pick him up. Sorry. So they go to bed, and then the day ends. Apparently, the yellow villagers go to bed while it's still friggin' sun outside. But I'll build my land bridge. The ability to deform the world is pretty cool. Like, I kind of just enjoy doing it. You can see there's tides, the water's coming in and out. I think they're probably starting to go to bed too. But they actually did something worth, you know, feeling tired about. They aren't just a complete disappointment. Unlike a certain village I know of. Let's go check on the poor red village that I traumatized by landing. He's talking about the end of the day. There's the music. There's the end of day music. Today was a disaster. I accomplished nothing. I have failed. This is one of my worst day ones ever, actually, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But it gave you an idea of what the game is, and that was really my goal here. Each of these sets of islands builds out their own structures. They look different. And then at the end of each day, you get kind of a scoring where it tells you, you know, how many people were on everything from how many people were on your island to how many structures were built to how many times you fell on your face when you're trying to climb a mountain. I'll point out some of the highlights as we get there. As the sunset video plays out. It is cool that's dynamic though. So if I had gone and screwed at that mountain, which I did on one playthrough where I Doshin could shoot a fireball, I didn't show that. So it's saying that currently Doshin's maximum height is 63 meters. Oh, it's going too quick. There's 34 buildings. 28 buildings, can't remember. Well, but one of these is how many times Doshin fell down, and my Japanese isn't really good enough for me to remember which one's which. I think this is the one that actually covers the people on the island. But at one point when I was playing this, I sat there and figured it all out. Well, no, these are the counters for people, so that might be it. 54 people on the island. One point I sat here and just translated all these, but they're going so quick now that I can't even figure out what's going on. Some of these talk about how much, you know, how much land you've reclaimed and how much land there currently is. So I've reclaimed only a little bit of land because all I've built is the land bridge. As you can see, they didn't build anything in the center of their town. Normally, all 4 villages have at least the starting of the monument. But because today didn't go so great, that didn't happen. But it shows you each of the villages, so it shows you that these guys who caused me to lose all my time are finally starting to build terraces. Saving. Here's the funniest thing about the game. So the day just ended. You would think it would just go ahead and shoot you to the next day. But no. It shoots you to this screen where villagers give you kind of a review of your performance. So these are all quotes from the villagers. I had a list at one point that translates them all, but I don't have it handy right now, so I can't read them. And they go by so quick, I really wouldn't have had time to look them up anyway. But a lot of times they're kind of funny. They'll tell you things that don't really seem to offer you much assistance. See if I can read one of these. But when the game's done, it just boots you out to the main menu. Now, if I went back into this one right here, it would actually continue on day 2 and carry me through. But I've got to wait a little bit of time, I believe, or it will not register as the next day or something like that. And then if I wait too long, a disaster will have happened and people will have been killed. So, that's Doshin the Giant. I mean, the gameplay doesn't really change up as you get through the days. There's just more of it. Like I said, sometimes natural disasters roar through the island. There's more villages later in the game. But basically, the gameplay stays pretty much the same. You raise land, you lower land, you bring people trees. You make sure the trees don't all die out on the island. And that's it. So, hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for next week where I haven't decided what I'm going to play, if I'm going to play anything for the new business preview. But, as always, you can listen to more about Doshin the Giant on Radio Free Nintendo. Johnny actually spoke about it on his last episode, 439, so he's actually played this game before, so you can listen to a little bit of that there. Thanks for watching.